welcome, Must Players. I'm Mark Santomartino, and this is your weekly dose of everything gaming, film, entertainment, frankly, anything we want to talk about. Sitting to my left is a man who's going to be Dad of the Year ×2 in just a few short weeks' time, Julian Price. How are you, Jules?
I'll take that. Yeah, I'm all right.
And the man who said he was going to wear a different hat this week and turned up in the same one, Ryan Mason.
I know. Yeah, goose on.
Disappointing.
Plug.
2 weeks in. 2 weeks in, we asked him for a different hat and we got the same hat. It's all right. It's all right. We won't mention that anymore. Gentlemen, we have got a huge show this week. Plenty to talk about, Jules.
Yeah, the firing of James Gunn. The fallout continues. We've got some more insults being thrown around, more drama happening, and
these big name stars really love Twitter, don't they? Anytime they want to get something off their chest, they just go to Twitter straight away, which is what we love because that means we can see it. And Maso.
I've been checking out Black Ops 4. The multiplayer is in beta. It's a little bit different to the other Call of Duty games, which are all very similar.
They never change that much, do they?
They never change. No, but it's not bad.
All right, we'll get your quick insights to that a little bit later on. But of course, we want to get stuck into our quick news headlines of the week. Apple, the biggest tech company in the world, has officially hit another benchmark on its path to world domination, becoming the only company worth $1 trillion. I feel like I should be saying that like Dr. Evil almost, because it's got 12 zeros. It's got 12 zeros, which is just an insane amount of money.
It's a lot of iPhone charges.
It is a lot of iPhone charges. That is definitely correct. Meanwhile, Nintendo has announced that they've finally cracked, or almost cracked, 20 million lifetime units sold for their Nintendo Switch, one of my favourite consoles of all time, although they were hoping to hit 20 million units this year alone. And of course, it launched back in March last year. So whether or not it actually hits that milestone, we'll have to wait and see. Of course, that's it. When Pokemon and Smash come out, I think there's going to be a huge flood later this year. Anyway, and Patrick Stewart, a man who is a king of space, not my king of space, but a king of space, is returning to Star Trek. And this is all going to be in a brand new CBS series, which is supposed to highlight the next chapter, Jules. What's going on?
Whatever that means.
Whatever that means for the franchise. Mace, are you a Star Trek? Are you a Trekkie?
Nope, not at all.
Absolutely not.
No, he's not my king of space.
Absolutely.
I'll admit, I did try and watch that new Netflix series that's on at the moment. It's,
Discovery.
Discovery, yeah, but I couldn't get into it.
No. I mean, I've seen the Chris Pine ones. Does that count?
I think that counts.
Yeah.
I think any time. Well, see, to me, he's Professor X.
Yeah, he's Xavier, isn't he?
Yeah, being a 90s child, for me, I never saw the Treks back in the day. The only real knowledge I have of the old school Treks is that hilarious YouTube video of somebody fighting that dinosaur in super slow motion. Could watch that for my entire life, I can assure you. But it'll be interesting to see him back in the character, I suppose. It's probably what fans want. I'm not too sure. But
it's much like Star Wars bringing back the original characters. They're bringing it back to Star Trek. I mean, those two, Star Trek and Star Wars, have always been compared. So I guess
you're either one or the other, really, aren't you?
Maybe they're just like, oh, Star Wars did it, maybe we'll do it too.
So Star Wars has brought back all of its mainstays to kill them off, movie by movie. Can we see him getting killed off in this new series?
Well, if they're following in the steps of Star Wars, I'd say so.
Oh, God, it might make them a lot of money as well while they're at it. Who knows? We do want to touch on our big discussion topic this week. We chatted about it 2 weeks ago. It was the firing of James Gunn, one of Marvel's most popular directors, of course, responsible for Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. He was fired over some tweets that people found in his feed from 9-10 years ago, which were making jokes about rape and pedophilia. Obviously, nothing anyone can defend. However, all of the stars of the movie in the past couple of weeks have been coming out. They've signed letters of understanding saying, we love this man, he's done so much for us. And another star has taken their own tact. It's not just the letter anymore. They've gone on their own little tirade on Twitter, Jules.
Yeah, then Dave Bautista, Drax.
Not a man to argue with.
on or off camera.
No, he looks terrifying enough in the makeup as Drax, but without the makeup, he's almost more terrifying because that goatee is so thick and black that you don't want to. It's a no-argue goatee.
It is, yeah.
I'm starting to think this movie might not even go ahead if James Gunn isn't back in it.
They seem pretty upset, but I mean, obviously legally they have a lot of obligations as well. And that's actually something that Dave Bautista has touched on in his latest tweet. He says, I will do what I'm legally obligated to do, but Guardians without James Gunn is not what I signed up for. Guardians of the Galaxy without James Gunn just isn't Guardians of the Galaxy. It's also pretty nauseating to work for someone who'd empower a smear campaign by fascists, Hashtag cyber Nazis. That's just how I feel.
He's talking about Disney there, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah.
No one at Disney is going to go, you can't say that. Or...
Yeah.
Look, if anyone was going to take down Dave Bautista, it would be Disney. That is a megaton company at the moment. They're buying everything. Why would you want to... Look, I understand you could be upset, but their hands were sort of tied. You kind of understand why Disney did what they did.
I would say that the actors have probably signed like a 3-movie deal along with James Gunn. And
Yes.
they thought, right, here's our team. You know, we've got 3 movies, which is probably, 9 years, really, of this team working together. And now that James Gunn's gone, they're all sort of banding together, I'd say. And you know, he is a big part of those movies. There's a lot of him in those movies.
Undeniably. And I suppose it raises the question that, say, a star like Dave Bautista pulled out. I couldn't imagine it happening for Guardians 3, but future installments, you know, past Avengers Infinity War Part 2... I mean, this is something that the Marvel Universe is always going to have to deal with because we know that Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark's coming to an end, as well as Steve Rogers, Chris Evans as Captain America. So where do you think that these big-name franchises, which have become synonymous with these actors, can survive post them?
We're only two movies in to Guardians of the Galaxy. How many Marvel movies are there with the same characters?
Well,
yeah,
depends which character, I suppose.
Another one to compare it with is
not Spider-Man.
Hugh Jackman and Wolverine.
Yes.
That's come to an end now.
That has come to an end, but I think everyone's satisfied with the ending of Wolverine. And he had so many movies, though. You know that Disney wants to squeeze more out of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
they want to squeeze more out of Spider-Man. This entire Marvel universe is something that they want desperately to continue past Avengers Part 2. They've already got a game plan for it, and Spider-Man's going to be at the centre of it. Obviously, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is coming out in post, so I thought that would be one that continues, but it might not.
It's a big ask to say to an actor, hey, you're ours for 10, 12 years.
Look, they are getting paid all right, though.
Yeah, poor them. Yeah, I suppose it's a decent life, isn't it?
Not going to sit here and pretend that they're probably upset with how they're being treated.
And how many lines does Drax have? He doesn't have that many, does he?
I must say, though, Drax's...
He's probably the best one in there.
His
yeah.
comedic timing has been sensational the past couple of movies.
Yeah.
Don't want to spoil too much of Avengers, but geez, that one moment where he's sitting there eating something, thinking he's invisible for some reason is one of my favourite moments so far in that universe. It'll be very interesting. Obviously, you don't want to throw too many rocks at Disney because if anyone's going to flatten you, it might be them.
They'll own the world soon.
But I also... Last quick question on this topic. Who do you think could potentially replace James Gunn? It sounds like Disney's letting this all die down. They don't really have a game plan, it seems, because they even said that the movie could be delayed itself.
It could be anyone, yeah. It could be anyone. Ridley Scott.
Ridley Scott, okay.
I don't know. Throwing names out.
Going full sci-fi.
J.J. Abrams, Ryan Johnson.
Yeah.
So I personally...
Even get the Kiwi in there.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
Taika Waititi.
Yeah,
I loved what he did with Thor Ragnarok, and I know there's a lot of discussion online about him potentially being the person to carry the torch. I really like him, and I think his last movie, I don't know if you've seen The Breaker-Uppers, that Kiwi comedy as well, is fantastic. So
I've seen the vampire one, and I loved it. It's hilarious.
Given Guardians is so heavily ingrained with the comedic aspect as well as a lot of Marvel movies are, I think he might be the right person for it, but we shall see. Out from the realm of film into the realm of video games, one of the biggest games always is Call of Duty, and Black Ops 4 is on its way, steaming to PlayStation 4, Xbox One and PC a little bit later this year. Of course, Activision has been in PlayStation's pocket ever since Sony became the highest selling console. They're paying for all the exclusive map packs and all the early drops, and they've got the early beta. Maso.
Yeah, so they started at the start of this week, and Xbox and PC have to wait until the 10th of August to play the multiplayer. It is only the multiplayer, the one we're all used to. That's it. It does not include zombies, does not include Blackout, the Battle Royale mode. But the thing that's a little bit different this time is that instead of your loadout and everything, you have a choice between 12 operators, and they all have their own certain skills and abilities. And
when you say operators, are these sort of individual characters?
Very much like Rainbow Six Siege, where you pick a character and they've got, they might have a barricade or they might have a shield and stuff like that, and away you go into the maps. The maps are very much the same as Call of Duty maps. It's pretty much 3 lanes and 2 ends sort of thing. So not much has changed there, but it is in beta for the next week, I think, and it's It is a slightly refreshing, yeah. I mean, they've got rid of the space element, which is great. Whatever they were doing there, get rid of it.
They were pushing very much so into the sci-fi aspect. I think it's nice to peg it back a bit.
Peg it back a little bit.
Yeah.
It's still on the outer edge of...
The whole future tech.
But this is like, I haven't bought a Call of Duty. I'm sorry, I bought World War II, but apart from that, I've left the ones before that off. But I think I will probably go out and get this one, even though it is multiplayer only. There's no single player campaign.
Well, I was going to ask, does it seem like they might try tell a story through the multiplayer with these characters, these 12 characters you get to choose from? I mean, how distinct are they from one another? Do they have different dialogue? Do they speak to each other during the matches? Like, what's the...
They've got different dialogue and they've got different weapons, but as far as story, they've got none.
Is it as far as, say, Overwatch in terms of their differences to each other, where there are stark differences?
No, not stark. I mean, Overwatch, they've got different jumps and they can teleport and all that sort of stuff. There's none of that. It's more like one will have a barricade. One's got an attack dog that you can set to patrol an area, sort of thing. Different grenades, different guns. You know, you're ranging from a revolver or a sniper rifle, or they're the sort of differences there. Not so much as far-fetched as Overwatch. They're quite different, those guys.
And I'm assuming once you're in the map, you can pick up weapons and stuff still? Or are you stuck with your loadout?
I think you're stuck with your loadout. I haven't seen anyone pick up. I certainly haven't.
Can you customise loadout?
I don't know. Maybe not. It's pretty limited to beta. It's only a couple maps. But
mind you, you've just been watching. You haven't been playing.
No, because I'm waiting. I've been watching on Twitch because I'm waiting for it to be on PC. So I'm waiting to August 10.
Okay.
Because I want to play it on PC. And also, for those who want the Battle Royale, the beta for that starts in September. So that's not too far away either. And then the game comes out in October. So
Call of Duty's first foray into BR as well.
Yeah, and
that'll be interesting.
We don't really know what to expect there. They keep saying it's going to be their own take on BR, but what does that mean? I don't know.
We'll find out soon enough. That comes out in October, did you say?
October 12th.
October 12th.
Off the top of my head.
You're both going to buy it. We'll see how that goes. Bit of levity. All right, so we're done talking about games. We're done talking about Dave Bautista having a bit of a mental explosion on Twitter, just wanting to get something off his chest. One of your favourite characters, series, everything, Jules. We know you're our resident Star Wars fan, but depending on the amount of cash you have, you might be able to snag yourself one of the most iconic pieces of memorabilia from The Empire Strikes Back. There is a huge auction that's going to be going down in London next month. It's been run by a British firm called The Prop Shop, and Han Solo's jacket from Empire is going to be there, Jules.
I don't know if it'd fit me.
How big was Harrison Ford back in the 70s or 80s?
I'm sure we can all squeeze into it, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, I wouldn't even put it on. That is something that you would not touch.
Really?
It'd sit in a glass case.
Yeah.
But no, definitely don't have the cash.
Just your torso mannequin, which is going to terrify you as
It
you
might
walk to
be
the
more of a
bathroom in
crop
pitch
top.
black.
Well, I already have quite a few of them made up, so...
Terrifying, but I mean, it's not the only item that's going to be going on sale here. In fact, there's over 600 items which are going to be valued at around 4.6 million in total, which is a huge amount of cash. So I wanted to play something akin to... what's it called? Antiques Roadshow, where I throw out a prop to you. I throw out this item of movie memorabilia, and between the two of you, you try to guess the price range.
A little higher, lower sort of thing.
I probably shouldn't have sent you the rundown moments ago.
I've just turned it off, actually, because
with all of the figures in it. But let's start with that one, in fact. Han Solo's jacket, the one worn by Harrison Ford during Empire Strikes Back. Highly regarded to be, or widely regarded to be, the best Star Wars movie ever. How much would you personally pay for that honour, to own that piece of memorabilia?
I always think these things are a lot less than what I think. So I'm going to go with like 200 grand.
200 grand.
I mean,
Jules?
his jacket's cool, but is it iconic as some of the other things from the movie?
It's not the
Probably
full
not.
costume.
So I don't... yeah, exactly. It's not the full costume either. So I don't think it'd go for as much as...
You could imagine, if you just put on that jacket and walked down the street, no one would look at you and think, hey, that's Han Solo's jacket.
I'd be like, that's kind of a weird jacket.
Yeah. If you're just carrying around Luke's
Luke's
severed hand.
Someone's picked it off down the bottom there. And
Look, that might go for a little bit more, particularly if it was the mechanical one or the real one. Even better. But Solo's jacket, they're estimating that might go for $1 million, which is a huge price tag. And to be honest, I mean, I personally can't see it going for that much, but we know there's people out there that would just spend on these things.
Yeah,
like
there's
crazy.
some collection out there, isn't there, that they'll pay $1 million for it.
Well, I mean, most recently, one of our own favourites, is he Aussie or Kiwi? I think he's Kiwi, and we've claimed him as
Rusty.
Aussie. Yeah, Rusty Russell
We've
Crowe.
renamed him as well.
But he auctioned off all of his memorabilia in this hilarious auction out of the divorce.
Out of the divorce, yeah.
After splitting with his partner to try and make up
Classic
some cash.
Rusty, that is.
And a lot of it was bought by John Oliver, the British talk show host, which was hilarious because he bought things like his jock strap.
He bought the codpiece, yeah.
From Cinderella Man. How much? I think he paid $7,000 for that.
$7,000, yeah.
Insane. But there are huge amounts of money to be thrown around by the rich and the famous. So bringing us to our second item, which is another one related to Harrison Ford, the fedora, worn by Indiana Jones in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
See, I would think that's more iconic than his jacket.
You reckon?
Oh, I think so. Well,
Yeah,
in terms of, what's in the film,
Yeah, there's a lot of hat
you're
in
to
that
go
film.
with Han Solo's jacket or Indiana Jones's hat.
Yeah, I mean, that hat's got its own close-ups.
True.
And then the hand comes and gets it under the door.
Would you ever be able to walk through a door the same way? Or would you just
I'll do it every time.
roll on the ground and then just pick it up?
No, you'd fake knock it off, wouldn't you? And just whoosh.
How much do you think you'd be willing to part with for the fedora? Keep in mind that Solo's jacket...
It was for $1 million, yeah.
I would think it'd go for more than $1 million, something like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's got to go for more than the jacket.
You're going higher?
Yeah, I reckon 1.2.
No.
Oh,
They're estimating $397,000.
Well, I think they will be pleasantly
That's
surprised.
an absolute bargain.
Well, you could walk away for the small price of $400,000 with the same lice that Harrison Ford might have walked around with 30 years ago.
I don't think a man like Harrison Ford
No, of course.
had lice.
He certainly did.
And if you did,
That
you
was a
probably
joke.
scared them away.
Oh my God. We can just feel the defamation lawsuit coming our way already. Another iconic movie prop, probably more iconic than those two in my mind, because I still think you wouldn't be able to identify them individually. The hoverboard that Michael J. Fox used as Marty McFly in Back to the Future 2.
Yeah, but does it hover?
Probably not. And
Well,
they've
I guess
actually
you won't
made
know until you buy it.
Yeah, exactly. After you drop your X amount of dollars, which I won't say because I want to ask you with that as well. Any idea what you would pay for that?
Well, if we get within $800,000, we're doing
no.
all right at the moment. But,
It's lower than $100,000. I'll give you that.
it's lower than
Lower
$100,000.
than 100. This is their
hoverboard.
estimate.
Oh, all right, $35,000.
Be higher.
Well, let's just say if you went to... where would you buy a hoverboard? We'll just say JB Hi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
You go to JB Hi-Fi and you want to pick up your hoverboard. How much would you expect to pay for your hoverboard when you go there? And then times that by
of
like
all,
100.
First of all, you've got to find somebody who works there.
Okay. Another defamation.
Yes. Which individual with a tattoo is going to serve me today? Okay, so how much would you pay for a real life hoverboard?
Oh,
Can't
10 grand.
$10,000, and then you want to times that by 100. You're back up to $1 million.
all right. $1 million for the...
I know, that's $100,000. God, my math skill is clearly
How many
shining
zeros?
through.
Not 12.
Not 12 zeros. Not Apple $1 trillion zeros.
First comment right there.
Although I'm sure that they will be able to spend big if they wanted to on any of these. They reckon between $39,000 and $66,000. And that is...
fairly
By the way, all
round,
these
isn't it?
prices are US dollars, I should probably mention.
That's not that
Finally.
much. Yeah.
You don't think that's that much? For a hoverboard?
Well, considering Han Solo's jacket's going for $1 million.
I know, but there are Star Wars nerds out there, man. One's sitting right in between us. If Jules had the money, you know he would drop that much on that.
None of these
jacket.
Star Wars nerds who actually want to buy that jacket will fit into it.
That's an excellent point. We'll leave that right there. Finally, the final one, and this one I think is going to throw you for a loop. The corset worn by Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman in Batman Returns. Terrible movie,
Holy hell.
but I can guarantee you there will be some creep out there who is going to spend big on that.
Has it been washed?
Was Russell Crowe's jockstrap in Cinderella Man
I
washed?
don't think that comes on the certificate of authenticity. Not
yeah.
washed since Michelle Pfeiffer last wore it. But if we want to give it a range, keep in mind
Well, hoverboard, if we're going in this sort of vein, $10,000.
$10,000.
Yeah, no, I reckon about 10 grand as well.
Less for the corset than the hoverboard.
Well, it's not
Yeah.
as iconic. Do you
but
think
it's-
Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman is an iconic?
And you're cutting out 50% of the population.
By what? Not appealing to... But women would like to buy it as well, I would
I feel
assume.
like men would outbid the women on this one.
Yeah, definitely. Well, the range is apparently between $3,000 and $6,000.
Oh.
Okay.
So that's a bargain. You could almost buy that, Maso.
Yep, on my
why not?
huge
On your
wage.
huge wage.
Yeah.
Why
Well, I
not?
think a lot of things in Russell Crowe's auction went for a lot more than they were expecting to. So for something like this auction sounds a bit bigger. So
Yeah, there were a few bits and pieces which sold for under what they were expecting.
they'll draw people in with the low prices and then
with the low prices of $1 million on
It's like
unsold
buying a
jacket.
house. You
Bargains.
just keep putting your hand up, don't you? And the next minute you got a jacket for $1 million.
Well, if you want to check out how much each of those items sells for individually, this sale is going to be happening on September 20th in London. Of course, that's on the other side of the world for us. However, you can make bids online, so you won't be left out, Jules, when that jacket actually comes up. That's all we wanted to chat about for today, but we do want to touch on our most memorable scenes from a TV or movie. Now, we typically chat about games that are coming up, what we're playing this week. Last week, we chatted about our most disappointing games. The week before was our greatest achievements in gaming, so we're shifting a little bit into movies and TV. What scene sticks out in your mind straight away?
Well, I'm going to go first because mine's a grim scene.
How grim are we talking?
Pretty grim.
Okay.
Um,
We don't want to bring down the mood too much.
well, I'm going to bring it down, and then Jules can bring it right back up again.
No pressure, mate. Yeah, exactly.
But mine's in Breaking Bad when Jesse was going out with Jessica Jones. I can't remember her name.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and she
Don't trust the bee in apartment 23.
that's
chick.
the
That one.
and she's ODing basically, and Walt's in the room watching it happen, and he has that sort of moment where he's like, I could just roll her on the side and it'll be good.
Yeah.
But he just stands there, lets it happen, walks out. And then,
Doesn't
like in the
save
last
it.
scene, in the very last episode, he tells Jesse.
I know.
Yeah.
It's got a
Horrible.
great-
But that one really stuck in my mind.
It has
that
an excellent payoff, that scene.
Yeah.
Obviously very, very grim.
Very
I mean,
grim. I
thank
gave
you
you
for,
the-
I suppose, prefacing that one.
one. Gave you the disclaimer.
But as soon as you said it, it just stuck
Yeah, everyone
shot
remembers
back
it.
into my mind.
Yeah, yeah.
Straight away.
I'll tell you very quickly another one. I really liked the painting episode in The Crown of the painting of Winston Churchill. I thought that was a brilliant episode of TV.
Okay, haven't seen it. But we'll put a video up, I suppose. Nothing to
Put a
add.
shot of the painting. The painting's real.
touching on that, Breaking Bad is one of mine too.
Okay, there you go.
This is what you've gone with. Breaking Bad.
Yep.
Oh, my God.
Yep.
All right, go for it, Jules.
When Walt is coming home and he's got to get the cash, and he opens the cover on the floor, and it's gone because Skylar's given it to bloody what's his name, and he just goes insane.
Yeah.
Like he just loses it.
Big angry scream. It's what Dave Bautista was doing while he was typing that tweet.
That I remember watching that for the first time, and going, "Holy, how's he gonna get out of this?"
Yeah. He
And
was.
I think that
was the
It's
anticipation.
one of my
wasn't
favorite
it?
TV series of all time. So I think there's quite a few scenes I could mention.
There's probably quite a few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent cliffhanger for a series as well. There's not too many that literally leave you there thinking, oh my God, what are they going to do? And it's not like a scene that's cut midway through. This one genuinely had a consequence and it kicked off the entire next season, which
Yeah.
is good.
Yep.
Now, oh God.
And
mine.
yours is from Breaking Bad, Mark?
No, I mean, I could just go on and on about how I just, love the bit where, right in that last episode, actually, where Walt confesses that he just did it because he enjoyed it.
Yeah.
That still sticks in my mind, but I will move away from
We could do a
Breaking
whole
Bad.
episode of Breaking Bad, I reckon. to be
Next
honest.
week on Must Play.
As soon as you said this, the only movie that's jumping to my head is the latest Mission Impossible movie, because I only saw it a few days ago.
Oh, I so want to see it.
And
yeah.
I loved it. And it's not because there's no other better scene out there, but it's just stuck in my head. The sequence of them skydiving is sensational. Genuinely sensational. I don't know if they actually shot it skydiving. I doubt they did, but I know Tom Cruise does all these amazing stunts in that movie. And it was
Did you see he made James Corden skydive
Yes.
too? God, they were talking about how good it was.
excellent.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. But I think for me, look, I'm a big Game of Thrones fan. Joffrey's death was huge. I mean, there's so many in that series, but I actually want to take it to. Have you guys seen the IT Crowd? We'll finish on
Yeah.
We'll finish on
Of course.
a bubblier topic.
Yep.
It's a show about two nerds and their IT relationship manager who's never ever touched a computer in her life, doesn't understand anything.
She holds the box. It's the internet.
Yes, that woman. But one of my favourite scenes is when they go to watch this musical and they're hating it. So at intermission, Roy, one of the characters, decides to go to the bathroom. He can't go to the bathroom because they've got one of those guys in there who, just watches you urinate in a men's toilet and offers you a towel or a mint.
It's a very American thing, the old towel and toilet.
Unbelievable that anyone would want that job, because I spend as little time in the bathroom as possible and hold my breath for about 99% of it. It's only just as I'm walking out the door. But he can't go, so he decides to use the disabled toilet. And that moment where somebody knocks on the door because he's trying to flush, but he actually pulls the emergency alarm. And they bust down the door, and he's just lying down there like a wet fish. And every question they ask, I'm disabled. Just makes me laugh every time I watch it. No matter how many times I watch it, that one sticks out in my mind.
That is a good one. That is a good.
I'm sure there's a few from Arrested Development and Seinfeld that we could go on as well in terms of comedies that we love, and I know that we all love. But on the whole, that is the goodness that is Must Play. This is our weekly podcast. If you want to keep in touch with everything we do, you can head over to mustplay.net.au. Maso, are you going to write us up something on your impressions of COD?
Yes, so I'll be starting to play it on August 10. I hope to have it up very soon after.
Sensational. I will be doing a bit of a digest on the Smash Brothers Direct, which will be out by the time this comes out. So go to mustplay.net.au to see that. We'll see if we can ever get a bit of a video reaction going. And of course, let us know your thoughts on anything you're playing this week or any of the topics that we have discussed. You can do that in the comments below, on our Twitter, on our Facebook, on our Instagram, where Jules has been posting lovely behind-the-scenes footage of my mum's garage. Love it. And while you're there, why don't you give us a big old thumbs up, 5 stars, high five, virtual high five, whatever you want to do.
You better put up a photo of her pasta tonight too, I think.
Yeah, you have to send me one.
Yeah, we got a really good home-cooked meal tonight. That's it for us at Must Play. Thank you for joining us, Must Players. Until next time, bye for now.